So welcome to day, yeah, day three of the job search program. And today it's all about interviews, which is really going to be an important piece of the puzzle in the job search. So I want to welcome you into the space. And I'm going to be repeating myself just a little bit, and then we're going to dive into the interviews. So the job search series is really here to help you find a career you love. So we're not just looking for any job, or looking for a job that's going to be really aligned with what our heart truly desires. It's also not one size fits all. So it's really the job search, when we're conducting a job search to find a career we love, it's really about us. We are at the center of the job search. It's about finding something that fits who we are instead of the other way around. The format of these series is I'll be giving you some tips. Today's on interviews. There's going to be a Q&A format, and also I'm going to be sharing an offer. And as I've been saying, the offer is your option. If you feel like, yes, I am so ready to embark on a job search to find a career I'm genuinely going to love, then embrace the offer. The link is going to get shared. You can learn more about it. And if it's not for you, that's okay. You can keep coming to the job search series and also ask your questions. And I'm going to invite you to turn off your cell phones, close additional tabs, and just be focused. This is a time for you and getting some extra tools and tips for your job search. And also don't forget to ask questions. So today is day three, and we're looking at top 5 tips to ace the interview every single time. And I'm your host, Priscilla Jabouin, and I have a Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology. So I'm trained as a therapist, and I've been working in the world of career development now since 2012. I've worked both in career centers in Canada and the United States. And I'm also an advanced yoga teacher, a Reiki level 3 practitioner, and a certified pleasure coach with the School of Womanly Arts. I've been interviewed at CBC Listen, Canada's national radio station, and also I've spoken in Canada, the US, and the Bahamas. And my mission is to get as many people as possible waking up to a career they genuinely love. And I'm not your typical career coach. So when I work with my clients, it's really all about helping them wake up to a career they love, discover their dream career, and find more purpose. And I help them take action so they can get off the cycle of career dissatisfaction. So today is day 3 in the job search series. And as I mentioned, we're going to really dive into what I consider as the 5 tips to ace the interview every single time. And this is part of a bigger series of 30 tips in 30 days to find a career you love that I'm currently sharing on LinkedIn. This week, we're actually doing the tips live. So we've arrived at tip number 18. And if you want to see the tips that came before, or you want to continue receiving the tips moving forward, just make sure that you're following me on LinkedIn. So when we're looking at these top 5 tips to ace the interview every single time, we want to build the confidence to shine as a top candidate. Like, I really want you to start feeling when you step into the interview, like, I'm so ready for this and I'm so going to get this job. Instead of feeling like you're second guessing yourself, or you're not sure, you're maybe concerned about the other candidates, we are putting all of that to the side. So you really want to make a memorable impact. And I'm going to give you some tips today that are going to be foundational, but that are still going to get you thinking about how you can totally show up to be noticed by the employer. And I want you to basically end the interview knowing that you're the one who got the job, and you're the one who's getting this job you want, you love, and you desire. So the first thing when you are getting prepared for an interview is you want to be prepared. So we want to avoid finding ourselves going to an interview and winging it, or just saying, I'll see what happens. Like, ideally, especially when you are showing up for an interview for a job that you genuinely want, you want to be prepared. And so a couple of things that you can do is you want to make sure that your pitch is really, really strong and that you're really confident with it. So what do I mean by your pitch? Most most interviews will start with a question, tell me about yourself, or some form of that question. So you want to make sure that you have a really, really strong response where you are sharing your accomplishments, you're sharing your skills, and you're basically telling the employer, I am the best candidate for this position. You want to know your accomplishments. So you want to go in there knowing, this is what you're looking for and this is what I've accomplished, and they fit. They go together hand in hand. And finally, you really want to be prepared for the difficult interview questions. We all know the interview questions that are difficult to answer, or we maybe have our interview questions that we've heard in the past and that make us kind of cringe. So we want to make sure that we are prepared for those questions. Number 2 is you want to have an impactful pitch, as I was mentioning earlier. So one thing is to be prepared, but the second is really to have that pitch, because that pitch is going to be presented within those first 5 minutes of the interview. And that's actually when the employer is going to decide whether or not they see you as a candidate that they would like to potentially offer the position to, right? So in those first 5 minutes, they're deciding yes or no, interested or not interested, and your pitch is really the make it or break it. So how do you prepare that pitch so you are considered as a top candidate and you also feel as a top candidate? So first of all, you want to make sure that you're presenting relevant skills, right? So you don't want to be just presenting any random skills. You want to present random skills that are relevant to the position that you're being interviewed for. You want to present your experience. What experiences do you have? Again, that's relevant to the position. You want to show that you have knowledge of the field and the company. And you also want to believe in yourself and your career goals. So the best way to really have an impactful pitch is to have the confidence behind that pitch of like, look at how amazing I am, and really have that energy in your pitch. This is how amazing I am. Number 3 is you want to be genuine about your intentions. So what do I mean about that? Often in the job search, we might feel like we need to apply to a bunch of jobs just to get an interview or just to get a job. But again, if you're looking at the lens of finding a career you're genuinely going to love, then actually that strategy, we're putting that strategy to the side. And we really want to focus on you really want to focus on only applying to those jobs you genuinely want. That is really my golden rule when I teach the job search, is you're only applying to jobs you really want. So when you're looking at this position that you have been called in for an interview and you're showing up for the interview, you really want to ask yourself, do I really want this position? And you want to be honest with yourself. So you can ask yourself, is this position actually aligned with my career goals? Right? Because if it's not, then maybe you're not going to say yes to the interview. I mean, it's always exciting when you get called in for an interview, but it's okay to turn down the interview and to let them know, I'm no longer interested in this position, but thank you for giving me a call. Excuse me. Do you know yourself and what you enjoy in the workplace? And does this position align with that? Okay, so that's a question you also want to ask yourself. And finally, are your values aligned with the company's mission and values? So these are all questions you can ask yourself before you go into the interview, or even during and after the interview, to decide, do I really want this position? And if you're like, I'm not so sure, I would suggest you remove yourself from the lineup and just let them know that you're not interested, and really keep all of your energy for those positions that you actually really want and you're really excited about. Number 4 is you want to share stories. So you want to be prepared to share stories when you walk into the interview. And you might have already heard about the STAR method, but you want to be using the STAR method. So you're really helping the employer get a really good sense of, what was the situation? What was your task? What actions did you take? And what was the final result of your story? So it's a beautiful way to structure the stories you'll be sharing in the interview. And using the STAR method is going to ensure that your stories are actually really impactful and that the employer is going to remember you. Because a lot of people don't really know how to use this method, or they're not using this method. And so they don't really stand out. There's nothing that leaves a memorable impact with the employer. So use your STAR method. And finally, number 5 is you want to ask questions. So you want to have really great questions prepared at the end of the interview, not only to show the employer that you are interested in the position, which is often what they'll say. They're like, oh, just ask questions to show you're interested. I'm going to suggest that you take it one step further. So I'm going to suggest first that you use the 5 W's to identify the types of questions that you're going to ask. So the 5 W's ensures that your questions are open-ended, which means that you're really getting the employer to share a lot of information about the position. And this becomes a really great strategy and technique because that is what's really going to help you. Like the answers to your questions, that's what's really going to help you decide whether or not you're going to say yes or no when they offer you the position, because we've decided you're getting that position. So what's next if you want to be prepared to ace all of your interviews? So I'm just going to share again my job offer. And I'm saying again, if you've been here before, if you're not, then I'll be sharing the job program offer with you. And then I'm going to open it up for questions. And I would love to hear your questions and support you in terms of whether it's the interview, the job search, or the job search program. So what is the job search program? It's a 4-month program where you will be meeting with me for 13 sessions. So we're meeting live in a group via Zoom with me. And this is where you get your coaching around your job search. So you get ongoing support, you get individualized coaching for your specific situation in the job search. So you're supported from beginning to end being that you're hired. You're also going to have access to my online job search course, which is where I really teach you the step-by-step program. Basically, from A to Z, I am teaching you every single thing you need to know to conduct a successful job search for a career you love. This course includes 4 modules. So there's the professional resume and cover letters, interview prep, professional branding, networking tips, and more. And in terms of the professional resume, there is going to be a resume review. But if you want to dig a little bit deeper into your resume, you can bring your resume to the group sessions and get coaching around your resume. Or if you feel like, you want a little bit of coaching or some tips on how you answer questions, then you can bring that into the group sessions and get a mock interview. And you're also going to get workbooks. So the workbooks will really support you in, you have the workbook for the clarity around your dream career, the workbook for the interview preparation workbook, and then you also have a workbook, which is a 90-day action plan. So this program is over 4 months, and the idea is that it takes you 90 days to find a job when you're using the right strategies. So you also have the action plan, so you can organize and structure your 3 months. And you'll also have checklists. So you'll have a checklist to, for example, today we're talking about the interview. So that checklist is really going to walk you through all the steps you need to take to make sure that you're 100% ready for that interview and to ace the interview. So some of the benefits of the program are that you'll feel empowered to navigate the job search and current workplace landscape. You will learn to look for and ask for what you desire in your career. So as I was saying earlier, it's really common for job seekers to feel like they need to fit into the job market, but I'm going to teach you how to actually identify what you want and look for that in the job market. You're going to confidently share your resume and connect with potential employers. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And you're going to say yes to job opportunities you genuinely want and are excited about. So no more settling for less. And you will get hired. So I like to promise that you will get hired in as little as 90 days in a job you want, love, and deserve if you are committed to following my strategies in this course. And finally, you're going to get ongoing encouragement. You're going to stay motivated to apply these strategies diligently. So Kayla here, I'm going to encourage you, the link to the job search program, if you want to know more about it, because there's a lot more than what I just shared, is in the comments, it's in the chat. And if you want to hear how other people have experienced taking this program, you can also find testimonials, because this is actually going to be the 4th round. But Kayla also took this program, and she mentions basically how it was really empowering. It was a dynamic way of approaching the job search strategies. And she says that within 2 months, there was not only was her application, her whole applications were improved. So that would be her resume and her interview strategies, but she also noticed an increase in the response rate from prospective employers. She also mentions that she got 3 job offers, several interviews, and this was at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So she highly recommends this job search program. So where do you usually get your career advice? And this is a great question to ask yourself, because if you're getting your career advice from LinkedIn or Google or any type of free platform, then often it's going to be surface advice. And what I mean by surface advice is that it's basically generic. It's foundational information, but it's not the information or the tips or the specific strategies that you need for your unique job search. Because everyone is very unique in the way that they're going to approach the job search, in the position that they want, and also in your resume. Like, your resume is such a unique representation of who you are as a professional. So you need to get really individualized and tailored support. So when you work with me, I'm going to help you get off the roller coaster ride of career dissatisfaction. You are going to learn strategies that you will be able to use over and over again, and you will be confident using these strategies. So if for whatever reason you need to change jobs again, it's not going to be a big deal for you, because you're going to be like, I've got this. And we do things differently because we focus on you. So the whole job search is going to be focused on you, what you desire, and how to tailor your resume, how to get you to answer interview questions to highlight you and why you're a really, really great candidate for the position that you want. And this is a way that works when you're committed to make it work and you're committed to the strategies. Again, this works when you really apply the strategies that I'll be teaching you, because you deserve to wake up to a career that you genuinely love. So the job search program is currently $3,780 Canadian plus tax. But for showing up today, I'm offering you a secret promo code, and you're going to get it for $1,980 plus tax Canadian. And so that's also going to be in the chat. So the secret code that you can use. And I'm now going to open it up for the Q&A. So if you have any questions, let me know. And again, these questions can be about interviews, it can be about the job search, or it can be about the program. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your questions. And you can stay connected with me. You can go on my website, mymappedhappiness.com. You can stay connected. You can select Let's Chat, send me a message. And if you want more information about the program, or if you are interested in maybe getting a payment plan, because that's also an option, then you can definitely contact me. And I will see you tomorrow for the day 4 of the job search program, where we will be talking about networking. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.